Now today I'm going to be addressing something that a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about, and that is about my camera rig. And I think it's a lot more going on here than I even realized. I didn't realize that there's a lot of little pieces that really make it be what it is. So before we get into assembling this rig, I want to really get into the purpose of a rig. I think a lot of people don't realize why we rig up our cameras, mainly those who don't do this as a living, and really the rig solves a lot of problems. So if I could just kind of handheld and do things in my hand, that would actually be a lot more ideal because my bag would be a lot lighter and I would have a lot less back pain after I'm shooting different jobs. So what is the purpose? Well, it solves mainly 4 problems. Number 1, it gives you infinite battery life, and we'll get into that a little bit later as we start building out this rig. And number 2, it actually makes a better handheld experience and helps you expose even better. And then number 3, it also allows you to get more stable shots because it's heavier and bulkier, thus taking away those micro shakes and jitters. And then 4th, it actually protects your camera. So if you were ever to drop your camera, hopefully it never happens to you, but these things really do happen. The rig and the cage can actually protect your camera in the event something like that were to happen. Alright, so now that we understand the purpose of a rig, there's a lot more I can get into, but I'm not going to get into it. But that is the 4 primary things that it solves, and if that is important to you, then you are ready to rig up your camera and dive into team handheld. Okay, so now let's start building this thing out. Let's take a look and see what we got. Okay, so now that we understand the purpose of the rig and what it actually solves for, now let's start getting into the different components, and then we're going to actually start assembling this rig. So here is pretty much everything laid out on the table right here. Obviously we have, let's kind of start from the base of everything, which is going to be our camera. Okay, the camera is going to basically go onto this base plate here. This is called a base plate. And then we have also obviously a battery that will go into the camera. And then we'll use this cable to pretty much connect the battery to the camera, supplying it power from the bigger battery right here, because we're going to actually bypass this battery's power here later, which I will show you guys shortly. And then of course we have a V-mount plate that's actually going to hold that battery. We also have a little L bracket here, which is super tiny, that will allow us to kind of wiggle through some things and really help our cable management. And then we also have a cable that will connect from the shotgun mic to my top handle, because I am shooting on an FX3, but this may not apply to you if you're using any other camera without the Sony top handle. Okay, and then of course we have our rods, we have our actual plate that will actually connect to the base plate and the camera. This will kind of bridge the two together. And then last but not least, we have obviously our lens that's going to go onto our camera, and then the top handle itself, and then the plate that connects all of the rig to a tripod. All right, that was a lot, but basically, in short, this is everything that you're going to need. You can take a screenshot, a picture, whatever may have you, and all this will kind of make sense as we start building the camera together. Okay, so let's go ahead and start assembling it, and that way you guys can see where the end result and what the camera will look like once it is all built up. And this is not including a monitor as well, just because I wanted to keep this really simple and kind of do my run and gun, quick and grab type rig and setup. All right, let's jump right in. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Allen key that came with this cage. I'm gonna go ahead and put this plate on the bottom here. And now we have this bad boy on the bottom of the camera. And this is gonna slide into that little base plate. But mine's just gonna slide onto here, just like that. So obviously now we need to get these rods on here. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're gonna slide this in right here. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our plate. This one is by Newer. You can get any brand, small rig, Newer, Tilta. They all have a standard size, but basically you want to be able to slide that onto here, and that will allow you to put your battery on. So if you're not sure how this kind of works, let me just kind of demonstrate that for you. Kind of slide it on to this little V. Okay, there's a V here, and there's also a V here on the plate. And what you're gonna do is want to pop that on just like that. And now we have our little bitty, handy dandy, boxed out Sony FX3. And as you can see right now, it is back heavy. But as soon as I put my lens on, you can see that it balanced perfectly. Top handle, which would be any third-party top handle that you can look up and find. So this is where I would go ahead and put in my microphone, which goes into here. So we're gonna go ahead and put our dead cat now onto here, and we are going to actually plug it into our battery. Everything's gonna go into our battery because this is the source of everything now. So what I'm gonna do is unplug this, plug it into the L bracket, bring it around inward like that so it stays nice and snug. Moving around my screen a little bit so you guys can see this side. Go into the USB-C port because I did enable USB-C power delivery inside the camera that allows this to work. Now what we're gonna do is finally hook up our microphone so we can actually hear things there, and it gives it a little bit of a lift. Tripod plate. Pop it into one of your little openings there. That's really it, and then get you like short USB-C cables, but not too short. You might have to do a little trial and error there to figure out what works best for your camera. I can't like address every single camera option and setup, but just do what works best for yours. Buy it on Amazon so you can just return it. You didn't hear that from me, but do what you got to do, and you know it is what it is, and you'll end up with a nice, snug, clean rig. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys, and we will see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care. See ya.